Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. As promised, today we're going to do a reading on Kamala Harris and then we're done with the political figures for the time being. So if you're looking forward to more true crime readings, then the next one will probably be more likely something up your alley. Either way, today we're taking a look at Kamala Harris to see what's next for her, and we're going to start off with the Urban Tarot deck. You can kind of see it right there. Has more modern imagery if you hadn't seen this deck before. And if you want any more questions answered, we're going to go to the Smith-Waite deck, which is the Rider-Waite version, but then a different writer, I believe, and looks more like this. So, as per usual, I am an intuitive reader. I'm just going to tell you what the cards say to me, and if you have any other explanations for the cards that we're about to pull, then make sure to put that in the comment section below. Without much further ado, I'm just going to start shuffling and we'll see what cards we get, and I'll be back when we have a good selection to look at. Okay, it almost looks like almost of a love reading for Kamala Harris, but we'll just take a look what we can see. I just asked what's going to be next for her in the next 3 to 6 months, and this is what we got. So let's take a look what we've got. First of all, I see here the 8 of Swords, which is kind of like an entrapment. And it's an entrapment of the mind, and it's right next to the 2 of Cups. So I'm thinking there might be some, like I said, this might be a love reading of some sort. I don't know. This seems like a relationship issue that's happening. We also have the 9 of Swords. It's like a worrisome card. It also says cruelty at the bottom, so there might be some trouble there. It could be her relationships, could be private or business-wise. I don't see too much pointing towards business in this reading as of yet, but we're not done yet. We might see some more. In any case, for the time being, I'm seeing there's some issues in a close relationship at the very least, and I feel like she's trapped in some type of mind trap, something that's keeping her down of her own will, almost. Like the 8 of Swords is usually somebody standing around in a forest of swords and they're just kind of trapped there, even though they could easily move through the forest, so to speak, to safety, but they, for whatever reason, decide to stay. You can also kind of see that the swords are definitely trapping whatever's on the TV, and there's all sorts of wires down there running around, tying knots around things and stuff like that. So this almost seems like the words public image are coming to mind, like maybe the way that they present themselves has trapped them in a certain way, and that's ruining some issues with certain relationships around there. We do see the Hanged Man next to that, and that is followed up by Pleasure and the Reversed Tower. So the Hanged Man is usually like looking at things from a new perspective. Also, I tend to see that almost like a 4 of Swords, like waiting it out, just chilling for the time being to see what happens. And then we have here the 6 of Cups next to that, so it's almost like reconnecting with somebody. And then the Tower over there is avoided because it's upside down, or they're unwilling to let something go. So this first line, like I said, it's very much a relationship type thing, like they're having some trouble, she's trapped in a certain web of her own volition, and then for whatever reason she manages to get into the Hangman energy, see things from a new perspective, and avoid, I guess, breaking up with somebody. This relationship, whatever that might be, is going to be preserved. And next we have the 4 of Swords, which is called Truce here, and I just said 4 of Swords with the Hangman as well. It's like a 4 of Swords energy, so she's going to continue to do this resting on her laurels thing for a while, or for the time being. And then we see here the Seducer coming in, which is an interesting energy if you're following up the first line with potential relationship issues. Maybe somebody's coming in with a interesting offer. It could be relationship-wise, like personal relationship, could be business-wise. Like I said, I don't see too much business stuff yet. So the Knight of Cups is kind of like the King of Cups in this deck. The Knights are kind of like the King energy in this deck, because this is a deck based on the Thoth deck, which has princesses, princes, knights, and queens. So the Knights are kind of the king energy, where it comes to the masculine levels of energy that the cards have. The Knights are basically the king. So this is basically a King of Cups somebody, and they're very good at tempting people with their emotions. They're very good at playing on other people's emotions, and I think because she's taking that Four of Swords break, they'll be more open to that because they already have that new perspective thing going on that led to an avoiding of the Tower energy over here. So maybe while she's still in that, let's just wait and see what happens. She'll get seduced into something by somebody else, and that's going to lead to a reversed Ace of Pentacles right here. So whatever it is that they're going to be seducing her to do might not lead to the best results. Ultimately, it's going to be a negative venture. We also see here the Ace of Cups. No, not the Ace of Cups. Eight of Cups. Sorry, close word. But it's in reverse. And Eight of Cups is normally like a walking away. And once again, we see them not walking away, like they're being pulled back in. Whereas before, she also came back from this whole cruelty and entrapment thing by going to the Hangman perspective. Once again, we have here the Four of Swords with a tempting offer leading to potentially not great results, but she's also not going to let it go because the Eight of Cups normally lets people walk away from things, but in this case, she's actually sticking it out. And the next card next to that, true to form, is Strength. So she's going to apply a lot of strength to keep or stick with whatever this is. But the Four of Pentacles over here does say that ultimately the investment is not going to be worth it, or it's going to be a very careless investment. On the end, though, we do have the Ace of Cups. So whatever relationship this is, or whatever it is that she's trying to achieve with other people, like on an emotional level, she is going to at least have some new beginnings with them, however that might play out. So it's a lot of emotions and relationships with people, connections with people that are kind of going wrong, but for whatever reason, if she takes a step back, it's going to go a little bit better. And we see that repeated almost 3 times. Like this is more of a simple, I think this is more of a personal relationship right here. And then this is more the business side because we see 2 pentacles right here. And seducer, like turned into politics. So there's always somebody trying to charm you or lobbying you into some type of deal. And I don't think that's going to work out very well for them. But they will at least have made some new friends here with the Ace of Cups. Why don't we take a look at this seducer? Who could that be and what are they bringing? Let's see about that. Page of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, there is somebody coming up with a new idea, a new offer, something that they might not be able to refuse, or at least sounds really good, because it is of course the King of Cups effectively, who is really good at spinning a narrative. So they're going to come in with an interesting, tempting offer. Could also be a female, obviously. I mean, both cards in this case, the Page and the Knight, do represent masculine energy. It could just be somebody who's really assertive. We have the, what is this? The Nine of Cups in reverse. So even though it seems like a good deal, there is definitely a lot of, it's almost being like they're being taken for a ride, because I usually read the 9 cards as somebody's independence, and in this case it's like her emotions are being hijacked or played upon by this King of Cups over here, King/Knight, and that is why they are more receptive for this new offer that they're bringing in. Now what the offer is, I don't know, but let's take a look what we can find out about that. Oops, that one just flew off to the side. The offer, High Priestess in reverse, that could be not trusting their intuition. I think this is more the next card next to the Nine of Cups, like being bamboozled, kind of that's a word I never really use, but I used it today because it came up. So I think that she's going to be so interested. It could be because it is the High Priestess. She really is interested in finding out more about certain things that she otherwise would not have any access to, and that's why she's so easily led into this new venture. Likes trying to figure something out. She wants insight in certain aspects, and they're like, hey, I can do that exactly. And then we have the Page of Cups. All right, so this is the surprise that comes afterwards. The emotional surprise could be the letdown as well. And let's see what happens after that. What do we got after that? What comes next? Like, what is this investment? Oops, wow. Alright, so we got a lot of cards here. This one in particular, because it flew over, or flipped over rather. Five of Wands is normally a bit like a play fighting thing, and it might be that they're tempted to find out some way, like find out more about certain people so they can maybe stop fighting with them, like trying to calm people's nerves and stuff like that. I'm going to sort through these in a moment. I just want to get them off to the side. There we go. So maybe she thought that this deal would lead to calming down perhaps the trouble in the ranks. And that's not working because of the Page of Cups. And once again, though, Reverse Tower is back, so it will at least cause for something not to fall over, or at least for them to hold on to something. We see a lot of this. Basically, this reading is the same thing repeated over and over again. Let's see what this stack that flew out wants to tell us about the situation. This one. Oh, Two of Cups is back, but in this case it's in reverse. Okay, that's kind of an issue, because I do see this as a timeline of events. Let's see what else we can find out about that. Seven of Wands, fighting off jealousy. And we have here the Six of Wands. So there is definitely some winning, but there's also some losing over here. Gonna grab that, thank you. Two of Cups is in reversed, whereas before it was upright. We started off with that one right over there, but we do see the Six of Wands here as some type of victory or a confidence boost. And Seven of Wands, people stopped coming for them, or at least there was some jealousy. Could be the jealousy is underwater. But we see the reverse tower here, so maybe that's avoided. Whoops, there we go. So the offer that they might be bringing seems like, hey, I can definitely help you get some more insight in certain things, maybe stop the infighting, and it's not going to cost a lot, but it is going to maybe a potentially risky investment, which she's interested in because she wants to know, and they're very good at manipulating her emotions right there. Page of Cups comes up because we do have some emotional surprises there. There's some trouble again within the personal sphere, and there's some people coming for her perhaps, but eventually she's going to come out victorious in that situation, and once again managed to keep this tower from toppling because we have two reverse towers this time. What is it exactly that she's trying to prevent from falling? Like, what is this tower energy? The tower energy is these two cards. Let's see what we got. This is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. That's almost like an inheritance that they don't want to lose, and we want to keep our power to ourselves. That's basically what this is, I think. This is something like she's fighting really hard not to give up her position and her perceived financial boost or gains as a result. That's why, of course, we have the people coming for her with the Seven of Wands. They want what she's got, and so far she's still coming out on top. And what is the negative self-talk and stuff down here about? The Eight of Swords back there. What's happening there? Because that's some type of mental entrapment. Oops, there we go. Prince of Discs. This would be the Knights. So the Knight of Pentacles on his side, he's not really upright or reversed, so she's definitely in her head about financial gains, resources that she doesn't want to lose, and she might have a certain thought about that, like what she needs to continue to do in order to keep things stable, I think, and that might be trapping her from doing other things. I'm just going to leave him right there, just like that. Just sit right there. Okay, we got more cards here. We got Strife again in reverse. We had that earlier as well. Underneath these cards, the same card again. So she's got avoiding losing finances, avoiding trouble with people. She's got the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which is in this case the card called Failure. So she's trying to not lose her options as well, because the Seven of Pentacles is usually somebody growing a plant out and just kind of looking at that it's almost time to reap the rewards, so she doesn't want to lose all the work that she's done so far. Did I drop another card? No, this one just got moved. Okay, there's that. That appears to be what she's stuck on. And also what she's not going to give up. She's not willing to walk away from it, and she's trying to really hard, like trying to avoid losing that. Will she eventually lose it though? Because we're looking at the short term, but perhaps the long term has a different story. So these two towers, will they eventually fall regardless? Let's see what we can find about that. Whoop. A lot of cards there. Everything's starting into a bit of a mess, but that's usually how it goes with me. Alright, the towers. Will they eventually topple? What do we got? We've got the Public Defender, Queen of Wands. So this will be the Queen of Wands. Yep, definitely trying very hard to keep her position. You can kind of see government building in the background. This is almost her. It's also a black woman sitting by a government-looking building. She has a panther by her side, or is this a leopard? I don't really know. Either way, she's fighting very hard is what this card is saying. So she's fighting very hard to keep the tower from toppling. We have the Chariot over here. It's basically in reverse saying that the whatever speed she could have made is being held back, or maybe she is purposely not speeding up or trying to keep things at a controlled pace. Then we've got the Three of Wands in reverse. And the card in this case is a fire truck, and it looks like somebody's trying to fight the fire in the background. The card itself is called Virtue. So this, to me, seems like she's willing to go to all sorts of lengths in order to keep the boat afloat, so to speak. So she's slowing things down with the reverse Chariot. She's trying to defend what she thinks is her ground, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to keep it. Then we've got the Seven of Cups right here, which says debauch at the bottom, so it goes kind of like debauchery, meaning again doing anything that she wants or that she feels is necessary to maintain that position, to keep that tower from toppling over. Next to the reversed Virtue card over here, this seems to me like she's going to try and do anything that she can in order to hold on to what she perceives is hers, and that could lead to all sorts of questionable actions and decisions made. Lastly, we have here the Seven of Swords, which says futility. So I think this is saying in this lineup right here, she's working really hard to keep what she feels is hers, and trying to slow things down, trying to influence things, trying to influence people with all sorts of methods. And then ultimately she's still going to get stabbed in the back, because the Seven of Wands is usually Seven of Swords is usually somebody walking away with swords from an encampment, like basically coming in, sneaking in from behind and just taking things and leaving, getting out of there. So I think as much as she's trying to clamp on to what she feels is hers and what she really wants to achieve, ultimately people are going to take it from her, and she's not going to know how or why it happened. So that's going to be a negative surprise as well. So we see her working very hard in this reading over here. She's trying all sorts of things. She almost topples the tower twice, and ultimately it's going to fall because there's going to be stuff going on that she can't foresee, and then whatever it is that she's trying to work so hard for will be taken ultimately after all. That is what I'm seeing. Hope you found that interesting. In any case, if you want me to do a reading on something else, it doesn't have to be political, obviously. It could also be true crime or anything else that's interesting. Make sure to leave that in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in another video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.